All right. Hi, Lisa.
Hello, everyone. I hope you guys. Do you like that light?
I like it. It makes me look more
I
tan.
don't like that light at all.
Well, that's awful.
I'll be switching it to
Oh
that
my
one
gosh.
for now. Hello. Hope you all are doing so great. We just had our first day of distant learning here, so we're feeling like we've been running curriculum all day for our kids, and grateful to have the freedom and the ability to do that at the same time as recognizing how crazy of a time this is for everyone and how many people really need what we have. Truly. So I'm just going to kick it off by saying huge congrats to the newest consultant on the team, Tracy Hutchins. She is on the South Dakota team. She just hit consultant this past week. It's awesome. ISA Academy is virtual, free and virtual, May 2nd, Saturday, May 2nd. Write that down. It's a great way to learn, a great way to get, a full day of training from home. And we're still planning on May 30th here in the Twin Cities in person, assuming we're allowed to do that by then. So we'll see, but I'm staying optimistic. And now I'm going to hand it over to Jake. He has had this training ready to go for a little while here, and he's very good at it. Today, I was on a coffee chat call with Zach Slobin this morning. He honestly, you guys, he does them every morning right now at 10 a.m.
Central.
If you go to his Facebook page, you can see it's like coffee chat time with Zach. It's 10 a.m. Central. And he talked about how 85% of this business, 85% of success is mindset, only 15% is skills. And I think what Jake is going to cover tonight is a big piece of the mindset side. So pumped for him to share with all of you. So I'm going to hand it over to Jake.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. Yes, super excited. This is something that I've been thinking about for a while. And I've got everybody's on and ready to go. If you're comfortable with it, I would encourage you, even if you're laying in bed, if you're working out, if you feel, yep, there's Chelsea. It doesn't matter what you look like. Nobody's here to look at you and judge you. I just like seeing your faces when I'm talking on this. So if you feel comfortable, if it's not safe, if you're driving or something like that, I get it. But we do welcome you to turn on your camera. We love you just as you are. And really kind of gratitude. This is the one. Yeah, Chelsea finished shoving food in her face. Perfect. And if you're eating while you're on here, great.
That's great. I just had a Girl Scout cookie, so, no judgment.
Yep. Oh, there's Kristen's lovely face.
Yeah.
And
I
Jen,
just have a little white wine right
too.
here, so
yeah.
Still no judgment.
No. If you need a cocktail right now, that's okay too. I just like seeing your faces. And gratitude is kind of the topic that I wanted to talk about today, and I think it's a really important one, and I think it's one that we mention a lot, and we talk about a lot, but we kind of gloss over it a little bit. So what I really kind of wanted to do is just kind of talk about why I was thinking about it now, why it matters, and then just a couple of little tricks, because gratitude is really something that's really easy to understand. If you ask somebody what's gratitude, I think most people could give you a pretty good answer, but practicing it consistently in your daily life is a really, really difficult thing to do. And I really acknowledge that. So I just wanted to kind of keep it on the forefront of your mind, especially, with everything that's going on now, because gratitude is something that's very, very easy to practice when everything is going great, right? When everything you touch turns to gold, everything is just on the up and up, skyrocket. It's really easy to be grateful in those moments. And that's great. But when times are not going so well, when things are kind of rough, and that's in anything, it's really hard to find gratitude, because we can really start focusing on that black dot and that thing that's happening. And gratitude is really one of the best ways and the most successful ways to kind of turn that around. And right now, we've got, everything going on. What the stock market is plummeted after years and years of just steady rocket growth. So it's really hard. COVID-19 is going on right now. People are getting sent home. Some people are losing their jobs. People are getting laid off. Allison mentioned it, like school's closing. We're going to have our kids home teaching them for 5 months, kind of this virtual learning.
Or 5 weeks.
Sorry, 5 months. I almost gave myself a little heart attack there. But 5 weeks, like like those things are hard things, and those things are not the things that are always on the up and up. So it's really important to use gratitude to focus and ground yourself when you're going through these things. And the reason it really matters is because it really helps to focus your mind, because a lot of life is, we interpret that through the lenses that we're wearing and what's going on inside of our head. So really focusing your mind on those positive things. And we've heard it tons of times before on multiple calls, not even on gratitude, but what you focus on, you find. I mean, if you were with, David Wood, if you're focusing on the gratitude and those positive things in your life, you're going to find more of those things. It's, everybody's heard the story. You're thinking about buying a yellow car or a yellow van, and all of a sudden you're driving around, you get that van, and then all of a sudden you're out and you start seeing them left and right. Like, oh, like, why is everybody copying this amazing yellow van I have? Like, no, it's on top of your mind. You're focusing on it. You're finding it. There's so many other things that are going on in our day. So when we're using gratitude and focusing on gratitude, those are the things that we're going to consistently find. And the more consistent you are with that practice, the easier it becomes over time. Especially in those hard times where things are not going well, it's a very difficult thing to stay on and focus on. But again, like I said, it's something that really will help lift you up and get you back on that path that you want. So really focusing on that. The other reason that gratitude really matters is it really affects you. I said your mind, but it also affects you physically. Like, if you can think about yourself, when you're grateful and you're in a moment of just absolute gratitude and focusing on those things, your shoulders, get back. You can't help but smile. If you're thinking about those things that you're really grateful for and focusing on those, I defy you to have a Jake Zoom face on and furrow your brow and look like you're super mad and upset and disappointed. Like, it just doesn't happen. It changes your tone of voice. We talk about a lot of times when you're reaching out to people, like using voice messages, calling people, you can hear if someone is smiling and how their mood is based on the tone of their voice that they're approaching you with. So when you are constantly focusing on that gratitude and being in that place of peace and happiness and being grateful and really loving everything about what's going on right now, that comes across in your tone of voice. And a lot of your communication, they say 80 to 90% of your communication is nonverbal. It's the things that they're picking up in your body language and the tone of, it's not what you're saying, it's how you're saying it. It's your delivery. It's your confidence. It's your belief. It's all of these things. And we are in an attraction game. Like, this is attraction, whether you're talking about social media and you're talking about attraction marketing, or just, we're social, most of us should be social distancing right now, but walking down the street, like if somebody sees you dragging this sad little leash and with your head down because you're focused on this, like, that's not the person they want to have a 6 foot away conversation with, right? If you're the person who's out there when the sun is shining and you're breathing it in, and even if that's the one thing that you're grateful for and you're focusing on right now, it's that I got outside. And if you live in the Minneapolis, Minnesota area today, it was almost 70 degrees today. It was 60 something. The sun was out. It was shining. I was out there. I had my sleeves rolled up. I felt like I was getting a tan. Like, the kids were out there with chalk. Things were getting messy. And a couple of times I did have to catch myself. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, my kids are going to have these black, dirty feet. They're eating chalk. Like, what is going to go on right now? So instead of focusing on that negative, I was grateful that my kids were out of the house and loving it, and they were playing together, and I wasn't breaking up fights. And I was in this moment of like, oh my goodness, this is incredible. I wasn't thinking about the things that happened earlier, or okay, we had 5 weeks of homeschooling. Now we have 4 weeks and 4 days of homeschooling. Like, I wasn't thinking down that negative path. I was using that moment to be in gratitude and to really just relax my shoulders and be in the moment. So really that's why gratitude really matters in this, because the work that we're doing now and the way we show up out there when something as terrible as what's going on right now, if you've ever used the news app on your phone or turned on the news, you know that it's not a lot of sunshine and rainbows that are coming through. And that's what people are experiencing. The majority of people, that's what they're hearing. That's what they're experiencing. So if you're that person who can bring some kind of light to their day, you're the person they can't help but be attracted to. It's it's just fact. Like they can't help but be attracted to you. Think of those people that you want to be around, or those people that you idolize, those people that you want to be your mentors. Are those the people? Do you think of those as generally people who are focusing on the gratitude and the happy, and giving of service, and really excited about where their life is and where it's going? Or are they the people who are focusing on the black dot and really just not being grateful for anything? They're always the complaining. They're the what if. The grass is always greener on the other side. That's really not what we're doing. And then why me? Why did I choose this one? And I'm going to do a little bit of something, and I'll even have Allison speak for me. Allison, am I the kind of person who would generally hang on to things, i.e. like a birthday card?
No.
Or something like that? Like, how long do you think it takes me to get rid of those once I get them?
Fast.
Fast, like how fast? You can be honest. If I get a birthday card from my parents or my grandparents in the mail, how often or how long does it take for that to hit? After I've read it, how long does it take for it to go in the recycling?
If you think of it, you would do it right away.
Mm-hmm. So,
and this is why I've stopped buying you cards.
Yes. Yeah. Very true. Very true. And I say that because there's the reason I'm going to show you in a second, but the reason I chose to do this is because just this last late fall, at an executive retreat, we did an exercise where we had people write down on note cards some of the things that they see in you, some of the positive attributes, some of the things that people are attracted to. And on the edge of my bed, and I don't look at them every day, but I look at them when I need to. I have all of the cards here still that those people did, because I am a person who doesn't think about those things a lot. And I don't know if that's you. Sometimes it's hard to think of our skills and the things that we can bring and the things that that we're good at. And some of the ones that came up repeatedly on that card was connect well with others, make others smile, humor, which I appreciated because I tried pretty hard on that one. And if it doesn't come across, that is not a good thing. Authentic, put others at ease, put others first, and you have a smoking hot wife came up a couple times. So I want to throw that one on here too. It did. But I was thinking about those, and this was probably a month ago when I was looking at them. And I think the reason those traits come across in me is because I am always in a, people would say, is the glass half empty or half full? I always say, I'm glad my glass has water. It doesn't matter if it's half empty or half full. I have water. And sometimes you're always looking on the bright side. Oh, you like whatever. Like if the option is always be somebody who's looking on the bright side or always be the person who's looking on the negative side, I'll take the bright side 10 out of 10 and then twice on Sunday. Like it's not even a question for me. And I think when you're focusing on those things, your positive attributes and the things that people want to be close to and want to connect with you about are just going to come out naturally. You don't have to try. You're not actively trying to recruit people. People are literally coming to you when they want what you have. And when you're coming from a place of service and a place of gratitude, that's just everything in this business. And that in a time like now when it's really hard, that's something that I really think we all need to focus on. And like I said before, it's easy to understand, but really difficult to do well, especially in this, because we do use a lot of social media. And the thing that can really kill gratitude faster than anything else is comparison. And it's a really, really dangerous game to play, because you want to look at people that you want to emulate and be like. But when you get into the comparison game, I wish I had that, or look at them, I want to have that, you're operating from a sense of lack then. So what you're focusing on is, I don't have that. I'm lacking. I'm wishing. I am not grateful for where I am right now. And the word that comes across a lot that is the killer when we're practicing gratitude, because we think we're doing it right, is the word but. But is the worst word that you can throw into a sentence, because it completely eliminates everything you said before it. So if you're practicing some daily gratitudes and it's, I'm so grateful for the 2 cycles that I had this last week, but I can't wait till it's 10 cycles. So really what you're focusing on is I'm not where I'm at. I'm not at 10 cycles. And you're going to keep thinking, I'm not, and I wish. And that's coming from a place of lack. And you're totally discounting that first part that you had that was amazing. Be grateful for those. Celebrate the hell out of that one PIV that you got last month or 2 months ago or whatever it was. And be really grateful and really be in that, because where you are right now is exactly where you're supposed to be. And that is true across the board. And it's you can reach and have these goals and wants. And I know we do vision boards a lot, and something that I'm kind of advocating for is on your vision board, like, it's not just throwing up the mansions and the big cars and I'm going to buy my own island. Like, what are you grateful for that this has brought into your life right now? Or what are you grateful for that you have right now? And focus on that every day too. Like, don't discount that. Focus on that family time. I've seen a lot of posts like this has been a really hard 2 weeks, but I'm really grateful that I get to spend some time with my kids during the day, and I don't just get to come home, feed them dinner, and put them to bed. Like, when my 6-year-old is remembering this, and we talk about it 10 years from now, she's not going to remember all the hard crap that it was. She's going to remember that we got to play games like on weeknights because she didn't have to get up and catch the bus. She just had to get up and crawl over to her iPad and log into her class meeting at 9:00. She's going to remember those things. So really living in that moment like a child. And the other thing that really is a killer is complaining. And complaining is something that's really easy, and it's something that everyone does. I'm guilty of it all the time. I complain. It's something that I try not to do. But I heard Gary Vee, if anybody's a Gary Vee fan here, I heard Gary Vee one time, and he was talking about complaining, and he kind of explained it this way, is if there was a world ranking, all the 7.7 billion people in the world were ranked 1 to 7.7 billion, the person who's ranked last, they can complain. Like, they can complain. They literally have it the worst. But if you're anywhere but that last person, there's something you can find that you can be grateful for, that you can hang on to really ground you during those times. So really, a challenge that I have for you this next week, and I'm not going to necessarily take this whole 10 minutes that's left here unless anybody has some questions or wants to share something that they're grateful for or some way they practice gratitudes to help everybody else kind of get in that habit. But something I want to challenge you is, if you find yourself complaining, just in your head or even out loud, tell yourself, cancel, delete. Like, I'm deleting that thought. You've heard people say different things like that. I know, is it Audrey Moss says, I reject that.
I denounce
that. If you hear somebody complaining to you or wanting to complain to you, she'll literally stop them and say, I denounce that. I do not accept that into my space. I denounce that. So find something, when you're in that negative space, you find yourself comparing, tell yourself, stop, delete, and say something out loud or write it down that you're grateful for, and write it in a way that does not discount what you're writing before. Do not use the buts. Do not discount any of those things. And really try that this week. Like make a conscious effort every day to do that. And as you're doing it, notice what happens to your body. Notice what happens to your tone of voice. Notice what happens to the way you approach the world and others. And I guarantee that you're going to find some successes and some big changes. And the more that you do this consistently, the better it's going to be, and the more natural it's going to become. It won't be such a stop thing. It's just going to become habitual in yourself, and you're going to really see big growth, and people around you are going to notice. I guarantee. Mary said it's like affirmations. Yeah, very similar to affirmations, and stating them in a positive, right now, this is what's going on. And really, really live in that and bask in it. And if you need to say it and stop and sit for 30 seconds and just really, really believe it, like really breathe it in and notice what's going on in your body, I can guarantee you you're gonna feel a difference. And you're gonna feel a difference when you go the other way. And sometimes you'll catch yourself right away. Sometimes you'll go down that path 5, 10, 20 minutes. And it doesn't mean that you can't have big visions or big goals. It doesn't mean that you can't reach for those things and focus on those things. But focusing on the big goal every single day and only that thing is going to rob you of the greatness and the amazing things that you're doing in your business right now or your life right now that are going to get you to that place. Focusing on those things every day is going to really attract more of those things that you need, and it's going to illuminate that path one step at a time. But this business is kind of like life. Like you've heard, everybody's heard it. It was in an Aerosmith song. Life's a journey, not a destination. And when you're on a journey, it's not about that end goal. It's about really enjoying all of the steps it takes to get there along the way. And if you're not loving the process or loving the steps, make some changes or find somebody to talk to about it and let them help you enjoy those moments along the way. Because I guarantee the trip will be a lot faster to get where you want to go, and you're going to be loving it every single day. And I love what I do all the time. I don't love every second, but I love every day. And my one wish for everybody on this call is no matter what you want this to be in your life, Isagenix to be, if you want it to be a little bit, if you want it to be a lot, if you want it to be everything, like love that process along the way and be okay with it. So what, Eunice? Yeah, the 3Gs, gratitude, gains, and goals. Love it. Okay, I'm just reading through the chat right now. Thank you, Kristen. When you focus on absence, you deny yourself abundance. Zach Slovan. Yes, Barbie. I mean, and that's everything. When you focus on the absence of, like what I was talking about, when you're looking at that comparison game or you're looking at what you don't have, you cannot be abundant with everything that you do have right now because you're coming from a place of lack, and it's just terrible. So does anybody have any gratitudes they want to just share with the group right now, or ways that they practice gratitudes or how they write them down that they could help with us? Because I know I am definitely not the only expert in here, and I'm sure all of you on this call have something that you could share with the group. So if anybody has something they'd love to share, we would love to hear from you.
I am not a journaler. I hate journaling. And it actually made me feel better when I heard that Eden Sloban doesn't like journaling either. I am such a slow writer, so I do not like writing gratitudes. But what we've done for my family, and we used to just do it at dinner time, but now I just do it randomly throughout the day with my kids. I'm like, okay, Lila, we'll start with you. And just by me saying that, she knows that she has to say something that she's grateful for. And so I don't even have to say, like, what are you grateful for? I'm like, okay, Lila, let's start with you. And they always have to say, and they have to say something different from their brothers and sisters. And Paul and I even have to go too. So like, it's so cool just to even have them like start thinking of gratitudes at such a young age. And I know you guys do this too at dinner time. But I think sometimes when we do it at dinner, like all my kids always revert to like, I'm thankful for the food in front of me. I'm like, of course you are. So that's why I pulse it in throughout the day so that they can start to find gratitudes, even when they're like playing outside, or if they're, like you said, doing chalk, or at bedtime, or just getting gratitudes throughout the day. So that's what I do with my kids.
I love it. Yes, I love that throughout the day. And sometimes even during a hard part of the day. Mm-hmm. Maybe not immediately in that moment, because sometimes we need to be in that moment with kids for a little bit, but afterwards, yeah, what you focus on, you find, for sure. I love that. You look like you wanted to say something. It's been a long time for you not to talk on one of these calls. I'm very impressed.
I wrote down my notes. I have three things to say. The first thing is around the but statements. Almost all the time, 99% of the time, you can trade that out for the word and it completely changes the energy of the statement. So I'm so grateful for my 2 cycles, but I can't wait to get to 10. Totally different energy. I'm so grateful for my 2 cycles, and I can't wait to get to 10. It's not discounting the first one, and I learned that in my target days. Someone trained on that, and so even in spots where it feels weird, it's okay to say and then go on to the next, and watch it change your energy around that. And the other 2 are just the concepts that are very solid principles in this whole thing. One I said at the very beginning, but for those of you who missed it, this business is 85% mindset, 15% skill. So if you get your mindset right, the skill will come. And a lot of times I think people are not spending enough time on their mindset, and that's why they're running up against a wall. I've been in seasons of that. I actually feel like I've been spending a ton of time on it right now, and the whole thing feels a whole lot lighter and more energetic and easier. And, you know, people are coming to us and we're starting new business. You know, it's just a different season when your mindset is right. And to go along with that, who you are being is more important than what you are doing. And Jake is a great example of that. Who are you being on your walks? Who are you being out in public? Who are you being at the grocery store? Who are you being at the post office? You know, things are a little different right now. We get that. But more important than the, what do I say in this situation? Or how do I respond to this? Or what words should I use? The people that you leave them feeling so good because they're full of gratitude, they're full of positive mindset, the energy, they bring your energy up. People will be like, I don't even know what you're doing, but I want part of it because they feel so good with you, right? So just really good thoughts around that I just wanted to kind of reinforce because I fully agree.
Yeah, and to Allison's point, you know, that, you know, we'll get that sometimes, and I'm sure you guys have gotten so many people like, what do you say to somebody who does this? It doesn't matter what you say, like Allison said, it matters how you said it. If I say, you should say, I would really love for you to watch this video. Like it's really amazing. It could change your life, and I'd love to talk to you about it afterwards. You could say that, or you could say, yeah, I'd really love for you to watch this video. I mean, it's awesome. It could probably change your life. I mean, if you're saying the same words, but you're not in that state, it's not going to matter. The words you use aren't going to matter. It matters who you are and how you're saying those things. And in order to get in that mindset, practicing these gratitudes and being grateful for what you have are the things that are going to change that energy and change the way you talk and you approach things. And that's what people, like Allison said, are going to be attracted to.
Yes. Anything else?
Yeah.
She just dropped the mic. Anything else? Questions, comments?
Yeah. Anything else? Does anybody have
9:30.
anything virtual going on they want to, you know, post? I know the in-house sip and samples and stuff are kind of slow going right now as we're all trying to stay 6 feet apart and gathering in no more than 6 people, 8 people, 10 people. But if you have anything going on virtually, let us know in the groups.
And I will say this week, there's stuff every single night. If some of you hopped on the Zach Slobin one tonight, I know it was posted there, isafyi.com/calls. Emily Vavra and who's it with this?
Hoover.
Eric Hoover. I was like, Travis, I literally could only picture Travis Ogden and Josh Plant, and I was like, that's not right. Eric Hoover and Emily Vavra are doing a virtual Experience Isogenics. Get prospects on Wednesday night. It's going to be so good. Permission to pivot, permission to do new, to try something new. This is the season where people, literally when things are going well in the economy, people don't always necessarily take a look because things are fine. They're peachy, they're happy, they're okay, they're complacent, they're content, whatever you want to call it. They're coming. They're coming for people who, they feel they have relationships with, who they, people who are consistently doing the do and building and sharing the vision and following the system and the steps. So we're going to have a lot in the coming weeks on system and steps and the how to, and just really have you really have a robust place for you to go and rock with this thing. So gratitude mindset first, skills to come.
All right, everybody, that's all I got. Unless anybody has anything else they'd love to share, we'd love to hear.
I don't know about a new shake flavor. I really don't.
No, I mean, there will be, I think they mentioned once a quarter some new product or something will be coming, but I haven't heard anything specifically.
Correct. I truly have not heard a thing.
If we hear something, we will let you all know.
Yes. Okay. Have a good night, everyone.
Thanks,
everyone.
Jane. Oh, you're welcome. All right. Bye, everyone.